Hello, I'm Teodulo Pecina and I'm presenting my future career, which is to be a college football coach. Since I was very young, I got into football. I played it with my parents since I was like 2 years old, since I could just hold a football. And I absolutely loved the sport from the beginning. I watched it, I played it all my life. And I started coaching flag football with my brother and my family, and we got really into it. This is my flag football team, and we won the championship that season. And I've been coaching flag and other sports for 3 years now, and it's definitely what I want to do for the rest of my life. The education required to do flag football is every college requires you to have at the very minimum a bachelor's degree. And to get a bachelor's degree, as most of you know, is to go to college for 4 years. The main majors that they look for is business, economics, sports management, and really anything related to health because it looks really good. Most colleges prefer you to have up to a master's degree, but it's very hard to get a master's degree, as all of you know, and so most of the college coaches do not actually have a master's degree. When it comes to the salary of coaching, it's very diversified. It could be so much different things, but the median salary, according to payscale.com, is $62,751. And even though that says it's the median, when you get to the top 10% of college coaches with how much they get paid, they're all above $99,000 a year. And a good example of this would be Nick Saban. He's a coach for Alabama. He makes $7.2 million every year just coaching. And when it comes to how big football is getting, the best example is what everyone talks about is Super Bowl and the ads that they have. Super Bowl, when it first came out, the ads were pretty cheap. They're still expensive, but not as expensive as they are today. The last 20 years saw an increase, a huge increase. When I was born, it was only $100,000. But since then, every single year, it has gone up from $300,000 to $500,000 more to do a 30-second Super Bowl commercial. So as of last Super Bowl, the most was $4.5 million for a 30-second Super Bowl ad. And since 2012, it is predicted to continue to go up with the football and coaching and scouting, and all of that's supposed to increase by 15% up until 2022. When it comes to the off-season, which most of you seem to be very interested about, is the coach's job is not complete. They have to balance their whole job with their family, and at this point it becomes very, very chaotic because no one really has a set plan. But you have to do all these things listed, which it includes at the end of the season, no matter win, lose, draw, whether you got fired, you have to do media rounds, which means you are there listening to different people ask you questions, whether you like them or not, and you must answer them, or it looks bad on you and looks bad on your university. You have to have multiple meetings and conversations with the boosters, which the boosters are the main people that fund the entire football program, and without them, you would have the uniforms, wouldn't have the practice facilities, you'd have none of that. You have to run camps for youths. The reason they do this is that many football players that want to learn the game from their favorite coaches, and to do this, they invite coaches from all over. Nick Saban does it. Even Bill Belichick, who all of you guys know just won the Super Bowl for the NFL, he does camp youths every single summer without fail. He can't miss a single camp youth. He has to always do them. Then after all that's done, you have to deal with recruiting. And recruiting basically means you watch so much film on different players in the high school level. And when you get to that level, you sit there and just every little position have to break it down and figure out what recruits you want. And when you get interested, you then have to call them up and invite them to your campus or to a youth camp and check them out that way and talk to them and see if you actually want this player to be a part of the tradition of your college. Once all that's done, you watch film not only on the recruiters you watch film from the past season. So all the games you played, you have to watch them and find any weaknesses your team had or your opponent has. So that way, once you figure it out, you can use that for next season. Once you look at the film, you create plays and strategies. Nobody in college, NFL, high school makes a play without thinking about what the other team is going to do. So to do this, you have to figure out exactly what that team will do, And when they do it, what's the best way to counter that? It's like playing a game of chess or checkers for all of you that has definitely played the games. And then I put pray. And the reason I put pray is in the off season, you don't get that conversation you always have with the players every single day. You don't get to talk to them. You don't see them much. They go away. They go home. They go all these places. During this time, you have no idea what they're up to, what can happen, and more than coaches like to admit, every single year they have one or two players that either break the rules, get injured, and in really bad cases can actually end up dying in some tragic accident on the off season. So you just have to hope and pray that all of your players are safe, they're doing the right things, and that their family's looking out for them when you're not. When it comes to strategies, you guys asked a lot about teamwork. And with teamwork, colleges don't really care as much about the teamwork part. The coaches do, obviously, but the colleges themselves, they really don't care. They're all about winning. You either win or you're out. If you don't win, they will fire you as soon as that happens. This year, they've seen the biggest increase in college coaches is fired. The Nebraska coach went 9-1 this year, and he got fired the day after they played the last game. It's all about winning every single game. And if it doesn't happen, they just cut you loose. But when it comes to winning, the only way you win is as a team. So teamwork and winning go hand in hand. If your team thinks they're all better than each other and they fight and this and that, when they go onto the field, there is no unity. They get smacked around. You cannot play as an individual at the college level.